How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse. Today we have a very special guest. We got Saucony Pro athlete, we got Olympian, we got the man who really helps bring this shoe to market, Jared Ward. How's it going today?
Thanks, Connor. I'm so good. So good.
So let's go back a little bit. We've seen this shoe on your feet for the past year or so. Where did the inspiration come for this shoe? How did this project all begin?
Well, it's versions of the shoe, right? And so in fact, my start with this shoe was the 2018 New York Marathon, when 5 days before the race, a bright green prototype of this showed up on my doorstep, and they said, hey, this shoe, actually 3 of them showed up. And so I took those to the lab, I hooked up oxygen, I measured oxygen uptake, like a VO2 max kind of test, but just oxygen uptake at marathon pace in the 3 shoes, plus the one that I was gonna run in. And 2 of the shoes were about the same, and one of them was significantly better. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna run in this one. And I called up Saucony, I said, this is the shoe. And so then they took that shoe, and and New York went well, and then months later, another box of 5 more shoes showed up at my house. It was kind of the same drill of measuring some oxygen uptake, seeing how they felt in workouts and things like that, and it's been iterative. I probably have 30 pairs of this prototype sitting in my office, and we've worked through a lot of them, and I really like this shoe.
Wow, so prototype after prototype, you're getting this shoe dialed in perfectly. Now, it obviously works, you've been wearing it. What was some of the feedback you were giving as you were going through this process?
Well, the first takeaway was running New York in that first prototype was I felt so good on the downhill. And I remember thinking, I'd been running in a pretty minimal shoe. I think for years and years, the research was lighter is better. So we just kept getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and eventually that was cutting into the shoe we were wearing. And so the first thing I noticed was when I had these on, I could run downhill, and it wasn't, the eccentric loading wasn't all in my muscles. The shoe was taking some of it. And so that was the first takeaway. And then we started getting in, hey, can we make this foam even lighter density and even lighter density? And what can that plate do in terms of giving us lighter versions of foam that we can use? And Saucony did a really good job with this foam. It's a beaded foam. It's super resilient. So these shoes are going to last. And I think it's an impressive, cushiony racing shoe, but it's going to last race after race after race. And it really is an impressive shoe that they put together.
Yeah. So this is going to be your shoe, but I think the real question everyone wants to know is, can this shoe compete with a lot of the other carbon fiber plated shoes we're seeing coming out on the market?
Well, I really think so. So, my takeaways in terms of measuring my oxygen uptake in this shoe compared to other shoes that I've been running in has been very impressive. And we were redoing studies at BYU with some of these other shoes. We were reevaluating, hey, what are the percentage gains from that? And I'm seeing more impressive gains as it relates to me than the averages that we're seeing in these other shoes. And so I really have bought into it. I was talking with Spencer, who really was on the team developing, or leaded the team developing these shoes at Saucony months ago. And my comment was, I can't feel like I'm in a marathon rhythm in these shoes. It feels more like a half marathon posture. And so, the shape of the shoe helps with that. I think it gets hips under runners a little bit better. And so there's a cushioning aspect that the plate allows and that the foam allows, but then there's a shape that puts us in a different position. And I think, and I don't know what each one of these things are doing individually, but as a whole, it's coming together as a shoe that makes a big difference.
That's great. So it sounds like a very impressive shoe that you're going to be rocking, but when are we going to see this on your feet next?
I'll be wearing this in Atlanta at the Olympic trials.
All right.
And it's going to work.
Perfect. I'm sure we are going to see some big things at the trials. If you want to get this shoe on your feet, it'll be available very shortly for everyone. You can get it at runningwarehouse.com.